What's up? What's happening? What's up? What's happening? Welcome back to Lynn's Corner. Now, if you have not yet subscribed, honestly, by now I really don't know. So, I'm just gonna wait for you to subscribe and then we can continue with this video. All I can say is go subscribe. Go subscribe. Now, please. This week, I'm gonna be talking about how I once got diagnosed with swine flu. So I discovered Mills and Boon books when I was like 13 years old. And then from then on, like, I think it took me about 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 years till I could actually read them, because the school I was at, it was like a boarding school. There was no library, but there were shonen novels. Guys, shonen novels are the most underrated things I've ever. What? Those books, I remember one. Let me just move out to just talk about this one. This one was amazing. So this guy, he was hitchhiking from, let's say, from one town to another town. So he was hitchhiking, and then this guy stopped for him. So he got into the car, and the driver and the hitchhiker, they just started talking. They're getting along. Then the driver's like, dude, you know what? I'm so tired right now. Can you drive? The hitchhiker's like, yeah, I can drive. He's like, okay, I trust you. You know, we've been getting along so well this whole ride. Come on and drive me. I'm so tired. This hitchhiker starts driving. And as they're about to go into the town that they were headed in, there's a roadblock. And the cops stopped them, guys, and then they're like asking them license, what, can we search the car? So this guy, he doesn't see any problem in it. He's like, yeah, cool, search the car. They find a dead body inside. And then the driver, now the hitchhiker, is like, no, this is not my car. I actually was hitchhiking. And then the owner of the car is like, nah, bro, this is not my car. I'm the hitchhiker here. Hitchhiker actually got arrested. So the whole novel is all about how he went about to exonerate himself. And you don't know who the driver is. You don't know who this person in the boot is. Like, legit, there's no starting point. But he managed to, like, prove his innocence and all of that. That book was amazing. Shonen books, most underrated novels in the world. Anyway, in 2009, there was an outbreak of swine flu, guys. Like, you know, just like listeriosis, that thing. There was also an outbreak of swine flu at that time. So I just started grade 10. I'm sure it was grade 10. Okay, whatever. Okay, so there was an outbreak of swine flu around about that time. So I started in a new school, and I discovered that there was a library but it was in the opposite direction of going home. So I would go there like maybe once in 2 weeks, and what really used to frustrate me was, as a member, I could only take out 3 books. So now if you are a reader, you understand that 3 books in 2 weeks is not enough. At some point, I discovered there was an English teacher in my school who had her own like mini library. I went over, I spoke to her, and she was actually quite excited because there was somebody else who was interested in reading her books. So she was like, yeah, cool, Lynn, you know what? You can come over into my class during homework time and you can take as many books as you want. So at the beginning, I was so shy, so I would only take 1 book, then I would wait 3 days, then I would go get another one. But at some point, I was like, you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to take as many as I want. Do not know where I got this from, but I always wanted to finish a book the same day. Like, I always wanted to know what happened, which is always the same thing. The guy finally realizes he loves the girl after hurting her so much, and then they reconcile, they get married and all of that. Sometimes they're already married and then they just okay, whatever. But Mills and Boon, they're all the same. Lies. On this particular moment, guys, it had been 2 weeks that I had been sleeping at like 3 a.m. like, because I was just reading. And then on Thursday night, I had this book. I read it until 4 a.m. Then time to wake up to go to school. My body was like, are you kidding me? 1 hour sleep. It's not happening. I will not wake up today. I couldn't wake up. Like, I could not wake up. So I was just like, you know what, whatever. I'm going back to sleep. My mom, when it was time to take all the kids to school, she notices that one is missing. And she comes to me. So guys, this was like a room in my house, like, unless you are dead, you are going to school. There was nothing that you could say that could stop you from going to school. I do not know what it is that you could have said that would stop you from going to school. My mom was just ready to block you, to block, like, she was ready for you. There's nothing you could say. So she comes to me, she's like, Sissy, you're sleeping. What's going on? So I tell her, I'm like, I'm sick. The doctor in her woke up and said, what's wrong? So I'm like to her, like, I really don't know what's wrong. My throat is sore, I've got a terrible headache, my stomach, my back, my legs. Like, I legit mentioned all my organs. So my mom's like, oh, really? You're sick? I'm like, yeah. Then she hits me with it. Okay, well, I'm gonna call my workplace and tell them that I have an emergency. My daughter's sick. I'm taking you to the hospital. I'm taking you to the doctor. At that point, I had to make a decision. Go to the doctor or tell her, like, the honest truth is I'm tired. And I was like, do you know this woman? I was like, nah, dude, let's go to the doctor. So my mom was like, okay, cool. My mom took me to the doctor. We get there. So, there are those questionnaires that you have to fill out. My mom is like sitting right there. The doctor's asking me, how old are you? This and that and that. And the questions start just going deep, guys. Like, do you smoke? My mom is like, no, she doesn't. She's not allowed to. Then the doctor asks me this question at some point, like, are you sexually active? My mom is like, she's 15. What do you mean? And the doctor, like, obviously, he's looking at me like, girl, I'm asking you these questions. And I'm just looking at him like, dude, whatever she says is the truth. I think at that point, the tone was set. Like, the doctor could see that, like, yeah, we've got a mother here. So he starts asking me. My mom's there, and I'm like, dude, I'm just going to repeat what I said. I said my throat is sore. I've got a headache. I've got my stomach. I don't know. It's doing some things. My knees, my legs. Basically the whole body. Mathematically, everything is sore. The doctor's like, okay. He starts, like, checking out stuff. Breathe. High blood pressure, what. And I think he couldn't find anything wrong except for the fact that I was actually, like, about to start my period. Yeah, I was actually. So he asks me that question. He's like, are you on your period? Am I the only one who had a mother who thought that period pain was not a legitimate reason to miss school? Neither was it a legitimate sickness. Like, my mom was that person that, like, you got period pain, cool, whatever. Go on, you ain't sick, you know, go on. And I was that sort of person who, like, I've got period, I can't go to school, I can't do the dishes, mommy, I can't go get you that water. So when the doctor asked me that, I was actually just scared that he was gonna say, oh, so that's why. So I was like, no, I had it just last week. And he's looking at me like, okay. He asked me that question, I think 5 times in succession, like, are you sure? So then he thought that maybe I was shy because my mom was there. So he then was like, okay, could you please excuse us? And now my mom gave me that stinking eye look, like, the thing of, oh, what is it that you want to say to the doctor? And I'm looking at her like, I didn't ask you to leave, he did. Like, so then the doctor starts asking me again. It's like, okay, so your mom's gone now. Be honest, what's wrong? I wanted to be honest at that point, but then I thought, I was like, this guy doesn't know my mother. So I told him again, I said, what I told you. My head, my throat, my legs, my stomach is doing some stuff, like, basically everything. So the doctor's like, okay. He starts doing stuff, pinching my nails. I don't know, he was doing a whole lot of things. Then he's like, I figured it out. And I said, what is it? It's like, you're so pale and all of that. I think you've got the first stage. In fact, he didn't say he thinks. you've got the first stage of swine flu. I'm like, yeah? What? My guy, you can't even give me regular flu. Hey, hold on now, hold on. I'm not sick. Oh, I was just joking. Can't even. I don't know. You. Like of all the things, you can't find something to give me. Swine flu. I was heartbroken. Calls my mom in. He tells my, so mom is like, what's wrong? What's up? He's like, he tells my mom, he's like, your daughter has got the first stage of swine flu. My mom is like, huh? Swine flu! And the doctor's like, no. At that point, it's great that we caught it early. It's not contagious. What? We have to give her some pills. And then we have to give her an injection. Okay. He's like, do you guys have any questions? My mom starts asking me questions, like question after question after question. And I had probably the most important question of them all. Like, what would happen to a person who's actually not sick and they get the injection and pills and they take them? Like, really, well, basically what I'm just saying is, what is going to happen to me after I take all of those things that I really don't need? But obviously I didn't ask that question because my mom was hell-bent on proving that I wasn't sick. That's why she took me to the doctor. So then the doctor's like, okay, I recommend that she rest for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, I only wanted to miss 1 day of school. Now I'm going to miss 10. It was too much. It was really too much. But then, well, in hindsight, I actually think that he probably at some point noticed that this girl's just tired. And that's why the 2 weeks rest, because he was just like, this girl needs to sleep. Because I really was not sleeping. But as well, I was just so happy. Okay, well, I wasn't really happy that it was swine flu, but I was just happy that it was something so serious that for the first time in my life, I got to see my mom be like, okay, so she was really sick. Oh, yeah, so she wasn't lying. But I was lying, mommy, I'm sorry. But anyway, guys, that's the one time I got misdiagnosed. Now that you've heard my story, don't you think you want to subscribe? I know you do. Well, if you haven't, I know you do. So, go hit that like button. Go and subscribe. Turn on the notification. Show me some love. Hey. But anyway, guys, I will catch you next week in the next video. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Bye.